Good evening, everyone. Namaste and welcome back to Authorized WorldSkills India Training Center's session powered by Vidyadaan. Independence Day was yesterday, but I would love to wish you all a very happy Independence Day today. Independence Mila, we are free. We are, after 74 years now, we have a lot of new things coming up in our life everywhere. Similarly, we would love to see India becoming Atmanirbhar now. Now we all are working towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. And जैसे हम लोग बात करते हैं कि आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए स्किलिंग इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट. स्किलिंग without skilling, Atmanirbhar Bharat is just a dream. So with the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and with a hope to bring pride to our country, we will introduce to you our amazing guest today on a special, I would say a really special technology, a very special skill of media and entertainment sector. It's called print media technology. It's old and not really much explored skill of media and entertainment. Now, how many of you are aware that printing technology is beyond the paper and ink? So I think not many people. So that's why we have mentioned it's not just a skill which is not much explored. So today we have print media expert Mr. Sameer Prabhune and WorldSkills honorary member of Mr. Kharbanda with us for the session to tell you about the various aspects of skill. When we discuss about the aspects and the details, I would like to introduce you to Yes Sir is here, and Mr. Sameer Prabhune has the honor of Mr. Sameer Prabhune is the owner. He has trained graphic design candidates in printing specifications for WorldSkills in 2013 and 2015. He's an expert for India at WorldSkills Kazan 2019 for print media technology. We also have with us Colonel Ravindranath Kharbanda ji. He is currently an honorary advisory member for Media and Entertainment Skills Council for skill competitions. He has worked as a project head for skill development program in Kabul, Afghanistan, lead the Indian Skill Contingent as a technical consultant at WorldSkills competitions in Leipzig, Sao Paulo, Abu Dhabi, and Kazan, Russia. So I heartily welcome Mr. Prabhune and Mr. Kharbanda here on the Vidyadaan platform for the AWSITC session on print media technology. So print media technology, when we talk about, it's really different. What we, as a layman, we understand printing is just the magazine and the newspapers.
Okay, I think you're forgetting a very, very important aspect of the life. The whole world is running behind money, money, money. That is what is printed.
Yeah,
okay?
Right.
Yeah. So you can't ignore your day. You can't end your day without printing, because in the morning you wake up without a newspaper, your day won't start. You need a tea which is branded, which is printed with Lipton or some other brand. You need sugar. You need milk which is branded. You are wearing clothes which are printed. You're going to schools. You're buying a ticket in the bus. You're getting notebooks. You're getting books. You're getting magazines. You're getting posters, and you are paying paper money. So there are 200 plus items you use in a day.
In a day, yeah, right.
In a
we have
day.
noticed it.
Yes, that's why you can't notice oxygen, right? You can't count oxygen. So print is oxygen.
It's like the salt in the food that's not noticeable.
Exactly.
Okay, I think Mr. Kharbanda just he got dropped. He's joining us back very soon, and during this session, guys, we are going to explore more opportunity, career opportunity, skilling opportunity for people pursuing their career in it. You will also get to know the skill opening the doorways of the world's biggest skill competition, WorldSkills, and how the candidate can take opportunity to participate in it. in it. So I would love to leave the talking to Mr. Prabhune and Mr. Kharbanda as soon as he joins. Before he joins, I would like to ask, sir, when printing is so, it's all in their life. It's on it all in our life. It's like a water that we are consuming every day without realizing. How do you think printing and as a skill, why it? Do you think it was left behind somewhere? It's not considered or something?
Let me tell you the number of skill. There are 56 skills in the world skills. The number
Yes.
of print media is skill 11. So you know how old it is. So it is the 11th skill in the sequence of the skill competitions. Basically, the world has been changing from paper printing to digital printing nowadays, and it has gone up to a lot of electronic media. But there is no end to the use of print media as on date, even today, because more and more focus is now going on packaging. So
Right.
yesterday you used to go into the shops and used to buy any grocery of any brand, just asking, "Bhaiya, mujhe aata de do," and you got the atta in your packet and you came at home. But today, then you go and you ask for some brand, specific brand, right? A 50 paise kilo salt, when it becomes Tata Namak, it is sold for 200 times more the cost, the same taste, right? So
True.
it's all branding. So printing is actually giving value to something. If I say something, it has no value. But the
Yeah.
moment it gets on paper tomorrow in the newspaper, then the world starts jumping onto it. So
Amazingly
yeah.
described, sir. Hats off. Seriously. So I would leave the talking to Mr. Ravi Kharbanda and Mr. Samur Prabhune. Guys, you can send in your questions in the Q&A section, although the chat is open, but it's only for the generic discussion, not for the questions. So questions will go in the Q&A section. And now here I have given the rights to everybody to share the screen.
Yeah, good. We can start off, I think.
Yes, we have. You just dropped. So I was talking with Mr. Prabhune about the printing. What
Oh,
I,
yes.
as a layman, I got to know it's so much. We are so much involved in printing, and we consider it paper and ink only.
Yeah, definitely you'll come to know. Samir will make us bright on the doubts which we all of us have. It's a very inspiring sector. Well,
Absolutely.
yes,
Yes.
I think we all are there and large number of people are attending, are in attendance. Well, hi to everybody and good day to everyone who has joined this session to know the standing of print technology in the world and how to benchmark standards at the World Skill Competition. Well, thank you, Pooja, for introducing me. Well, yes, I'm associated with World Skill Competition since inception in the country. And I equally thank MES leadership for providing us this exclusive platform to address the corporates and the print fraternity, along with the aspiring students of print technology who will make India proud by winning medals at the national and international skill competitions. Well, we
Great.
need to congratulate all registered candidates. Well, this is the first step towards their progress. The statement I keep giving every time, never forget is hunar hai to qadar hai. Or that is definitely there.
Right. So if I can
Okay,
request,
yeah.
if I can request Mr. Prabhune to start with his presentation, and Dr. Nanda Kumar, please send in questions in the Q&A section, please. We'll surely take it forward. Thank you.
So good afternoon to all, and I wish you a very happy advanced day from 15th August yesterday. So we are going towards 75th year of the freedom next year, and I think print media has been there even before the British came to India. So actually, it's one of the most oldest skills and technologies. So I think there are a lot of students who have joined print media early. There are many senior people who must have joined right now, those who have even come to the retirement in their work of print technology. But for one and all, I would like to just give you some background about print media. So almost like hundreds of years back, people used to just write on wooden box in India, and they used to write on stones in the Greek mythology. And people who used to do that were known as scholars and scribes. And as the technology enhanced, people wanted more and more copies of things. And they started looking for different printing technologies where wooden carving started becoming the start. The wooden carvings were applied with colors from natural flowers and plants, and they were pressed against some surfaces to get an impression. So the impression is a word, is the common word which we use in printing. So it's a print impression. The transfer of ink from one surface to another is known as printing. Or in printing, we also terminology is making multiple copies of the same original. So there is another skill in under this SSC, which is graphic design. So where graphic design ends, print starts. So it's like an architect and a civil engineer combination. The architect has to design and the civil engineer has to build it. So similarly, a graphic designer will design, and it's a challenge for the print industry to reproduce exactly the way an artist has created the original. So printing basically has been transforming from different processes. Earlier, we had letterpress printing, where the blocks were created, and in 18th century, we had all these technologies going on very fast until 19th century. We got transformed into several processes like offset printing, gravure printing, which is a cylinder printing process, flexographic printing process, screen printing. Then there was the advancement of digital printing, where we have inkjet, we have laser jets, we have whatnot. So there are almost like 16 printing processes in the world going on. And the most used process today is offset. Along with that, we have gravure printing, which is cylinder printing process. We have flexography, and we also have digital printing, which has come up very, very fast. So probably in the next few years, down the line, 10 years, 20 years, we will not see most of these technologies probably prevailing like offset or gravure or flexo. Most of the technology will be digital printing, where inkjet might rule. Today, laser is there, inkjet is going on very fast. And today, nobody wants 1,000 copies. They want one copy, they want 5 copies. They want my name to be printed on the copy. They want my photograph on the copy. So personalized printing, print on demand, which is known as printing of required copies only. I want only 5 copies. I have taken 10 books and I want only 7 chapters from each book combined in one single copy, personalized for me. Yes, this is possible today. If you go to any exhibitions, you see the stalls are designed. There are flexes, there are banners, there are danglers, there are tickets. You have a brochure, you have a flyer. Everything is printed. If you talk about the currency, we are printing all the notes. The paper is special, the ink is special. There is a value for the note which we will print. And that is why those notes which we cannot print, they are converted into coins. So print actually is one of the oldest technologies. It has got huge and wide applications. The advancement today from the commercial printing process has gone ahead to packaging printing, which is the future of India now and even the world. So there are so many areas which are associated with printing technology. We call printing technology as a amalgamation, a combination of different technologies. If you go to a printing machine, you will find mechanical engineering, you'll find electronic engineering, you'll find instrumentation, you'll find chemistry because of the inks and the solutions, you'll find paper, which is another part of chemistry, you'll find thermal technologies, you'll find fluid technologies. It's an amalgamation of several engineering technologies put together. Now, when we come to the skill competitions worldwide, earlier there was only offset printing which was going on in the competitions. Slowly, they changed the modules. And now instead of only offset printing, we have digital printing. We have n number of applications which are to be discussed now in the coming slides. So what I'm showing you right now is the first panel where it is showing India skills in a large 2020. So we are looking for conducting the competition for those who have registered for this India skills, and we'll be having competitions between the candidates, and we'll get the best of the candidates to go ahead for the international competitions, and they will have rigorous training, hands-on training in all the different aspects of print. So this is an entire work of Government of India, NSDC, Media and Entertainment Skill Council, and I am feeling so honored to be associated with this, and I got the opportunity to work as a expert for this skill. And it is really a different atmosphere when you go there and you see how the other people are performing, how our country is performing, how our flag is there. So let us go to the presentation. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is the skill 11. So out of all the skills in the world skills, this is the skill number 11, which again tells you that this is one of the oldest skills, right? Next. So here I am representing my startup, which is Advanced Graphics. I have specifically put the name as Advanced Graphics because I am focusing mainly on packaging, digital printing, and the applications of offset printing for the future technologies. And this skill has been supported by Heidelberg India Private Limited. Heidelberg is the international sponsor for the WorldSkills. So when you go to the WorldSkills and when the printing happens, and when I explain you in the future slides, all the offset machines, they are all of Heidelberg. And also now digital printing is one of the most major sector in the skills, where Konica Minolta worldwide is the digital partner for this. Next. Now, when we go to WorldSkills, it is a totally different scenario than what we do over here as a skill. Whenever we are working over here, we have different people working in different sectors. For example, if you have an offset printing unit, you will have a person who is only specialized in making the aluminum plates. There is a person who is specialized only in printing the job. There is one person who is looking after the print quality of the job. There is one person who is looking after the color values of the job. Here, you have to do all the jobs single-handed. Secondly, you will not have any assistant on the printing machine. If you see a general scenario in any printing press across India, you go to an offset printing press, you will find three people. One is a feeder, one is a boiler, one is a printer, and the three people will be handling the machine. If you go for digital printing, you should be able to handle the press. You should be able to give the prints as per the demands of the customers. You have to also do a lot of color mixing and matching. So I'm explaining now one by one each module over here. So I'll just go through the list first. So the most important module, the largest module in this still is offset printing. So in offset printing, what we have to do, I'm going to actually explain in the next slides, where each slide has been dedicated to one of the skills. So offset printing, you have to work on a 4-color Heidelberg offset printing machine. Then for digital printing, you have two modules. One is a large format printing press, and then there is a toner press printing, which is a Konica Minolta machine. Third is a spot color mixing. So here you have to put your utmost skills of color matching and your color perception and color knowledge. You have to mix some given CMYK inks. I hope everybody knows what is CMYK. It is cyan, magenta, yellow, black. Those who are new to this, I'll just explain in short. Any picture, any photograph which we print, it is originally captured in the camera as a RGB, red, green, blue image. This image cannot be printed as a RGB ink because of the ink deficiencies. So we convert these RGB colors into CMYK, that is cyan, that is blue, yellow, magenta, and black. So anything which you see printed is a combination of these 4 colors. And if you need special colors, we can go ahead for spot colors and specialty colors, or even 7 colors and 6 color printings. After you print a job, your job is not over. You have to cut the job to the given specifications. If you have a A3 size sheet and you have to make it into A4 or A5 or even to the given millimeter sizes, so you have to do the paper cutting. Then you have to also do press defect identification and rectification. So whenever you're printing on a machine, there are several problems coming due to the atmospheric conditions. There are some issues in the paper. There are some problems in the machine sometimes. So you have to find, identify the defect, rectify it in the given small time, and continue the production. This is a very, very important part of machine maintenance and working. And there is a very, very interesting last module, which is offset press simulator. So there is a company named Synapse, whose 2-day full sessions we have planned tomorrow, that is 17th and 21st. So there will be a presentation from the general manager of Synapse, Mr. Thierry Mac from France. And this is a software simulation exactly giving you a visual feel and visual enhancement of how actually a Heidelberg machine works. And you don't need to actually go and buy that machine. You can actually use this simulator, and you can do fault finding, you can do printing, you have sounds and everything. You just feel like you are actually printing in a machine. And that simulator will create some problems for you. You have to identify the problems, rectify, and actually say print 300, print 400, and you can see the printed copies. If you have printing problems in that, they will be enhanced and you can rectify them. Most important part, which I have not mentioned over here, is safety. Safety is the utmost important module which you have to follow in the WorldSkills. Safety, cleanliness, and time. These are the three most important elements which you have to follow in all of these modules in order to get ahead with good scores. Next, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. So now talking about the first module, this is a module which asks you to print a 4-color printing job, which might be one side, it might be both sides, and you have to match both the sides using a 4-color Heidelberg SM52 machine. So this is a specific skill which is required for a person to become a trained operator of an offset machine press, and you have to do it single-handed. So you have to feed the paper, you have to fan the paper, you have to put it into the machine. Based on the thickness of the paper, you have to decide what is the sucking power of the suckers, how much the forwarding will be there, how the first color will get exactly matched with the second color, how the registration will take place, what are the colors coming out, whether you have to increase the ink, whether you have to decrease the ink in specific areas, if you have to do ink and water balance in the offset. All these things you have to do in a given time of say 2 hours, and you are given 500 sheets with 500 sheets as wastage, and you have to print given quantity with the minimal wastage and with the given stipulated time. And there is a very stringent competition in this. So every aspect is calculated and checked by 3 experts over there, and the marking is like 0.25, 0.1, 0.2 for each and every aspect you do. For example, there are 3 spots on your printed sheets, then your 0.1 mark will be reduced. If your registration is not correct, again 0.2 marks will be reduced. And the best registration is taken as the topmost marks, and the rest are marked according to the hierarchy. So in a Heidelberg machine, you have to print a 4-color job, and you have to produce it as per the industry standards using all the international specifications of ink density, color values, color differences, registration marks, centering of the jobs, etc. Next. So these are all the aspects of offset printing. The pictures which you see over here, these are of our candidate who represented India last time for the first time in India. So his name is Shrenik, and he is a student of printing engineering in University of Pune. He is now right now in his 3rd year, and he was not knowing anything about operating a machine. But after 6 months of training, he was able to actually do the punching of a plate, which you see at the right bottom corner, then putting the plate onto the machine, putting the blanket onto the machine, setting the gripper margins, setting the ink, setting the print, and finally producing the job and doing all the productions. And after that, cleaning the machine and handing it back to the press as it was in the original condition. So he has become an expert. He has become a specialized person who can single-handed operate a Heidelberg 4-color machine and give you a print production job. Next. Now, when we talk about the advanced technologies, This is a digital printing process. The earlier process which I talked about was offset, which is having a capacity of printing huge number of prints in a smaller time. For example, we can print up to like 10 to 15,000 sheets per hour. But the limitation of the process is you have to stick to a minimum cost of the startup. Like there will be a die cut plate which is created. So once you create the plate, there is a cost for the plate and you have to print some number of copies, and that cost will go on decreasing as the number of copies increase. But if you say I want to print only 50 copies, 20 copies, the overall cost of this process goes very, very high. So in today's world, there are less quantities, but there are more number of jobs. So this is where the digital printing comes. Of course, the startup time for offset is huge. You may require like 3-4 hours to create the plates, print, and actually have the copy in hand. If you go for digital printing, within 5 minutes, you can actually get your job printed in hand. You can have a variety of sizes on this machine. You can have front and back printing. You can have variable data printing. The meaning of variable data means I can have 130 certificates with 130 photographs of the participants and the names of them printed individually on each copy, which is not possible in the conventional or the offset printing process. So in digital printing, there are 3 to 4 modules which a candidate has to appear. He has to first print a calendar. So he will be given 12 pages and he has to align them and he has to print them and make them into a calendar. He second assignment will be a tent card in which there will be a data on one side which is common and you will have a name of a person printed on the other side of the tent card. Third will be about a booklet printing. So you are given say 24 pages and you have to convert them into a booklet, and you are given like 20 copies, 15 copies, and all of the copies should be same. You are also given some color matching onto the machine where you have to set the machine settings in order to modify the output of the colors which are required on this printing. So Konica Minolta worldwide is now the partner for digital printing, and we also have given training to the candidates exactly on the same machine which is there in the WorldSkills now. Next. So these are the jobs which we have to do. You can see the left hand side where your logo. So your logo can keep on changing onto the tent cards, and you can have different tent cards for different customers. You can have brochures which are printed with different photographs and different text in a limited quantity. Then if you see at the bottom, there is a yes Diana, yes James, yes Valerie. So this is known as variable data. So the original image is the same, but the data keeps on changing. So these are the things which are the tasks we have to do using a digital printing process. Next. Now, after your printing is done, you have to use a cutting machine. Now, this is a specialized cutting machine, which is again an accessory of the Heidelberg machine, and it is a famous brand known as Polar. So Polar is a brand which is associated directly with Heidelberg. So whenever you buy a 4-color Heidelberg offset printing machine, by default, you will get a Polar cutting machine with it. And all the specifications are designed as per the sizes of the offset machine. So we require a cutting machine before printing, and we also require it after printing. Why before printing? Paper which we purchase is not exactly in all the corners perfect. So we need to trim the paper to the given size, or probably we get a big size paper, for example, 30 inches by 40 inches, and my printing size is 10 by 15 inches. So I have to cut the job in 4 times, 8 times, and make it to the printable size of the machine. So what the candidate has to do over here, he has to cut the paper to the given size. He has to use the programmable machine. So why I am calling it as a programmable machine? Because once you are cutting a specific job where there are say 25 labels in a sheet, so every cut is done individually and it is recorded into the cutting machine as a sequence. So if you are printing say 5 lakh labels, so I will be cutting only say 50,000 labels at a time or 25,000 labels at a time. And when I save the program, it will automatically run, and the same size and the same position of the cutting will be achieved to cut all the jobs. So the student or the candidate who is going to operate this machine, he has to make sure that there is a lot of safety because this is a cutting blade. there are some sensors which will be on if your hand is in between. So you have to make sure the sensors are on. So it is a very highly damaging device if you don't use the safety. So you have to use the safety matters. After cutting, you have to throw the trimming material in a specific way. Everything is observed. So you have to cut the job to the size, you have to finish the books to the given size, you have to finish the labels to the given size and put it in a proper position along with the name of the job and the sequence which is considered as the ending point of that job. Next. A very interesting and very skill based, or you can say technological skill based part of this competition is the ink mixing and matching. It is the biggest challenge in the printing industry. Whenever people come to us, they say, हमने तो आपको apple बताया था और आपने orange print कर दिया. That is because there are a lot of elements which are involved in getting the result of a color which you look. So color itself is such a big topic. Then we can have a session of 8 days just talking about what is color, how it is reproduced, how it is managed, and how it is produced. So if you see at the bottom right, there are the 4 colors which we use for printing: cyan, magenta, yellow, black. And above you see the person is trying to match a shade with a given sheet. So this is a task in the WorldSkills where you are given a sample sheet and you are given CMYK inks, you are given a weighing scale, and the right hand side top corner what you see is known as a spectrophotometer. It's a device which is used to measure colors, and from the colors 2D, we make it into a 3-dimensional color value and we match it with the original color and try to reduce the difference between the 2 colors, which we technically call as delta E. So delta E is basically a number which gives you a difference between 2 colors. To give you a very simple idea about this, color is basically based on 2-3 elements: light under which we observe. So if you're observing under a fluorescent tube light, it's a bluish color. If you observe some object under a broad sunlight, it is a yellowish color. So there is something which is a neutral color. So it's a pure white color. So whenever we match 2 colors, we have to make sure that there are standard color values and not different values of observations. So we have to mix the inks. You have to measure with the spectrophotometer and try to match the closest of that. And this comes with practice. So there are few candidates who are training now. So they are getting trained to get the delta E or the color difference, which is less than 1. Why less than 1? Because if our eyes are observing any 2 different colors at a time, the delta E, if it is less than 3, then our eyes cannot find a difference in the 2 colors. Any delta E value which is more than 3, our eyes can easily find a difference. So to make sure that there is no difference visible to the eyes of the human, we keep the delta E which is less than 3 or even less than 1. So when we do it in the WorldSkills, the best color match is taken as the highest match. It is given full marks, and then we go as per the hierarchy. So this is a very, very interesting topic, and it is not just mixing inks and getting the shades, but there is a challenge in that. You have to just match the shade in the given time of say 30 minutes. The second challenge is to reproduce the ink on a given Heidelberg 2-color machine. You have to mix 2 inks and you have to reproduce them on the machine. And the result which comes on the press is taken as the final shade and not just you mix and show. So it is a very, very interesting, but of course a challenging task. And if you understand color and if you learn the technology of mixing the inks, it makes it very easy for you to do this. Next, please. Yes. Now this is the session which we are going to have tomorrow and on the 17th. Synapse is a company in France, and they have a software known as Shots. So this is actually useful where if I'm running an institution and I don't afford to have an offset machine, because running an offset machine takes a lot of space, takes a lot of maintenance. I think each one of you are aware that a Heidelberg machine can cost you something around 3 to 4 crores. So every institution in our country may not be able to purchase an Heidelberg machine and may not be able to train the candidates on a Heidelberg machine. So what is the option? We don't opt for it? No. The option is we go for this Synapse Print simulators. So there are 4 units or 4 modules in the WorldSkills where you can actually, if you see this panel, it is looking exactly the way it looks in a Heidelberg printing machine. So there is a front panel and there is a key panel. So these panels are there and you can actually modify the keys. You can give a run, you can say stop. And this interface is exactly matched with the Heidelberg interface. It has also got options of flexographic printing, gravure printing, and other printing processes. But in WorldSkills, we are focusing only on Synapse print simulators for offset printing, and it will simulate you the exact environment and the working modules of an SM52. So tomorrow, I request all of you to please join that session. You will get a very detailed insight of this. And it is very easy. You can have it as a cloud sector and you can use it for learning print media, offset printing, and other problems in offset with this Synapse. Next, please. So just to put it in a smart nutshell, this is skill number 11. The competition is for 4 days. In the 4 days, you have almost 6 to 7 hours work the whole day, and there are 18 tasks which you have to complete. And these 18 tasks, they are broken up into 100 marks, which are actually having 700 marks as the total criteria to get those 100 marks. So details of this you'll of course get when Ravi sir will explain you the common system of marking and everything. It is known as CIs. And so we have the 18 tasks in which we have to understand what is pre-press. You have to work on pre-press. You have to work in the press section. You have to work in the post-press section. And most importantly, print media skill is a 95% measurement skill. So there is no judgmental. When I say judgmental and measurement, I'll just explain this small part. For example, if you go to graphic design. So in a graphic design, I may be an expert for a graphic design. And when I look at the graphic, it may appeal me, it may not appeal me. So if it appeals me, I will say, yes, it is good. If not, I'll say it's not good or it is less. So I may give the marks which are judgmental. But when you talk about printing, you have to measure the density of ink. You have to measure the thickness of a paper. You have to measure the cut size of a paper sheet. You have to measure the number of sheets which you have printed. You have to measure the color value. You have to measure the delta E. Then you have to measure the time for which you have taken, how much kilogram of ink you have manufactured. So all these things and how much wastage you have given. So these are all measurement areas. So it becomes very easy to analyze and evaluate even a number of candidates in print media. So you have actual values of international standards which are followed. And as per the standards, if the file is matching, you give full marks. If not, we give 0. So it is just a 1 and 0, image and non-image, what we talk as. So this is the way this skill goes. And we can have more detailed sessions on this. But I think you must be also waiting to know what is print media in the world skills in detail by Ravi sir. So just we can go to the next slide. So I appeal to all to be a skilled technician in the world's third largest industry of the world, which is print media. And it is a very privilege to make your country proud, to represent your country, take your flag across the country and compete across all the other countries which are there in the world. So I want more and more of the industry people from print media to come ahead and support this. Our media is not having glamour, but the glamour cannot be given without print media. I think I should hand over my session now to Ravi sir, who is most experienced and veteran in this field. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Samir. You've given quite a good insight about it and explained about the modules. But just talking of the introductory, what we talked about, we keep stressing upon uh, Atmanirbhar and self-reliance. Well, with pride, as you already brought out, that printing and packaging technology, we are totally self-reliant. As you brought out that we invented paper when we used to write on the bark of the trees, and there are various type of machines and equipment which is being used. We go the highest, the biggest renowned paper manufacturer like Palapur Industries, who exports papers, and manufacturers are there in Kolhapur like Manugram and so forth. However, we have to need to keep ourselves updated with the newer technologies. In printing, he already brought out about transferring paper to digital. Now I'll talk about the business. The global business of printing and packaging is astonishingly 900 billion US dollars. That's the third largest industry for which we must aspire to have a larger share. This growth and progression is envisioned with the country to provide material and expertise to the world. You just would have heard yesterday, Prime Minister announcing that we should be self-reliant is one. In the industries which we are already self-reliant, we must export the items to other countries, increase our export, send a manpower abroad so to get employment and to train them. So there's a huge demand. We already aware of that, and the printing operators have ample of opportunities. I should say uh, opportunities in galore. I'll call it to take appointment of print machine operators, binding operators, paper manufacture industries, plastic films and laminate operators. They could get it in India and they could go abroad after they're trained here. And another very great thing is that in most of the for entrepreneurs, one can start a business with low as 1 lakh rupees only. And this industry in the entrepreneur could grow his product going till I should say 100 crores and more. So there's a very big opportunity we got in this sector, which is I'll call it, I don't say neglected because it's self-reliant, but awareness among people is definitely much less. And we've never been competing in the skill as Samir brought it out. Is the first time we are competed last time. And of course, we say the skilled people never remain idle, even during the pandemic days. They are working. The printers utilize their skills in pharma industries and allied companies. Industry has been growing. Now I'll talk with the world skill. Quite a few, I'm sure, may not have even heard of world skill competitions. I must tell you, is an honor and privilege to represent the country at the national and international skill competition, any capacity. You may go as a competitor, one could go as a team leader, one could go as an expert, interpreter, or go as an official, or even as a tester, I must say. So I'll try to give you a little generic briefing on the world skill competitions because it's just not competition what we keep talking. It is much beyond the competition. For this, I'll present you through some slides. I think Shivani, you can share the screen if you are ready. Yeah. Now, skills in the world of print technology for Atmanirbhar, print technology. Now, as I said, these people at all times they got work. They're always moving. During the pandemic also, people have been moving. You see people printing and packaging. They were all the time engaged for supporting the essential services in the medical and so forth. Well, we always say it's the biggest platform of skill of excellence. The World Skill Competition is the largest skill competition which could be held. There are about 84 member countries, and competition now henceforth is going to be in over about 60 skills. As of now, we've been having competing in about 55 skills, and country competed, of course, in 43 skills. But we're going to show gradually we're going to grow. And the world skill, as I said, started from Second World War. 1950 was the first competition which was held. Now the world skill competition, we all must be aware, these are very structured competition where the competition rule one has to abide to the competition rules and the values which one has to follow. I may be any good in my skill, but the value of competition skills has to be followed by one and all, starting from the competitor to the president of the board to the executive officer of the the WorldSkills International. So things are held in fairness. Everything is spelled out. The technical description of the skill is given. The infrastructure is already known to the people. Is all transparent. Or it is not only one person who's working. It's the entire academia, the industry, the I should say the institution, the competitors, the businessmen, all are there. It's a cooperative effort. And in the competition, it is not the world skill who's provisioning the equipment. It is the supporting partners of the world. They are the one who promote the equipment, who provision uh, the equipment which is required for the skill in totality. It is their responsibility. No skill competition, as we said, it has no race. Yeah, next, please, 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 please. Yeah, Shivani, next, maybe shift. No, next, I think. Yeah, next to this. This next, yeah, this week over. Next, please. Next. Now, I was talking skills have no race. There are people from all religion, caste, all across the world gladly join because they have no race, they call it. It could be from any race, any country, any culture, any religion. All are permitted to participate and everything held in fairness. All are welcome to compete. Next, please. Next slide. Now, World Skill Competition is not only in one competition printing. Their competition held in over 60 skills. And talk of any skill is there, starting from automobile to architecture to acre maintenance. Skills are there. Next, please. Now, the World Skill is to an important platform that whosoever competes at the World Skill or participates or goes there, it builds confidence in the skilled people. That is very one thing, important thing. It empowers the community of skilled workers, raises the bar of excellence. You may be any good in a country, but when you compete, you prepare well, you learn from best practice from the others. So that's how you raise your level of excellence. They're always learning when you compete within at international competitions. This reduces the skill gap to fuel economic growth. Next, please. The World Skills builds a global platform of skills where you would have seen at the competition and seeing the vision and mission, they inspire young people to develop passion and that passion of skill to convert into their profession. And it is ensured by the World Skill that the best standards are provided when they are competing. And those are the guiding factor on which one learns, one gets trained, one competes. And even the World Skill, they ensure that the industry, government, the educators, and the research people all combine and think betterment for the World Skill competition. It is here who, after the research, evaluate or come out with which are the futuristic skills or what skills have got future and what should be done to improve it further. Next, please. Now, as I said, it's not only one country, one just competition. When the people go, youngsters, all competitors are matched with one of the school with the countries, the nation who's hosting the competition. They mix around, they talk to each other, they understand what are your cultural things, how you carry out skill in your country, learn from them. So exchange of ideas are too very vital for them. Next, please. As I said, of course, in under skill, media, and entertainment, there are three skills as of now. They're likely to be one more skill added this time, which was there last time also as a futuristic skill. This time they will add your industrial design technology. So they're going to be four skills for a sector. Next, please. These are some of the glimpses which we are showing. Print technology you've seen, and these are the other glimpses for the sector skill people who are working there, competing. We compete in 40 skills, so everybody's being shown. Next, please. Here you see the importance people get. Olympics we've been hearing, but these are no less than Olympics. Now even the government and international community is understanding skill competition hold much more value than your Olympics. For this provides you job. This provides the country to grow. This improves the economy of the country, which is the dire need of the world, I must say. So skill competitions are very well structured. They are very well projected. The streaming is done all across, and they are very valuable for people to participate. Next, please. Even the people like President of Russia was there for the inauguration. It is held to that level. Next, please. Next, please. Next. Shivani, could change, please. This is the Putin was there, and now next, if we see, again, in the world skill competition, this time we did well. We got 1 gold, 1 silver medal, 2 bronze medal, and we got 18 certificate of medallion. Next, please. This is a progression you can see that we've been performance at WorldSkills. We started from 2007. As a matter of fact, that was just a trial. We went for the visit only. And 2009 was the first year we competed in 5-6 skills. And there again, we got a silver medal. And that was at that moment, it was all voluntarily and all sponsored. Only industries who were keen, they went. So 5-6 industries opted out, and so we competed. But in a, I should say, in a proper design way, we started competing on 2011 when the World Skill, which was earlier member was CII, was passed on to NSDC, and later, of course, NSDC, your Ministry of External Affairs was formed. We started getting grant for competition, so that's been a progression. And last year, and which was held in 2019, we were placed 13th among the 63 member countries who competed. And here we got 1 silver medal, 1 bronze, 9 medallion of excellence. So they were, you can imagine the progression which is shown. We were placed 13th out of 63 countries, quite near to the very developed countries. Next, please. Now you see the send-off ceremony, the amount of importance which is given by the nation. Your minister was there to send off the people when they left the competition. Next, please. These are the people who made India proud. And I'm sure this time with the people who are attending the session today, last time we had so limited support. This time with so many people attending and we being fully sufficient in this print technology. So it shows we have the strength, we have the entrepreneurship, we have the aptitude, we have the skill, and we have the vision. So I'm very sure this time with support from all of you, when you combine, we are going to show our skill at the World Skill, and the person who gets to represent the country is going to get a medal. Imagine the person, a lady who is walking on the dais after the medal, and it's a pride moment. Money can't get you all this. What you can see, the walking in front of lakhs of people with the national flag in front of them. It's a pride moment for everybody. Next, please. Next, please. This is just a ranking I showed you, showing you of the ranking. Just show the ranking part. One before, please. Now the top countries have been China, Russia, Korea. Korea used to be always first, top earlier on, but now China and Russia has taken on, and we were positioned 13th, very close to the best companies when the country Germany, UK, Singapore. You imagine if we are to that level, so no, very soon we're going to match the world. We could be in the first few, and that's the aim and vision for the coming 21 competition when you hold in Shanghai. Next, please. Next, please. Now, this he is given it out to you, print media technology, what comprises of print media technology. But here I'll show you some technical slides. Now, I'll just tell you certain focus areas are there. The competition held for 4 days, and one has to complete the job in specified time frame. So what you need there is basically mental and physical strength. To compete for 4 days is not simple. Throughout the day, one day person may be working for 6 hours, because once the person leaves his home or his place where he's staying, reaching there half an hour before, 1 hour before he gets up. So practically 10 hours every day person is working. So one should have the mental and physical strength to work for 40 hours. And other thing what we keep talking is we keep referring about, you'll rather we should have given this before Samir started off, technical description, because we keep referring giving this technology technical description. So technical description is basically is the Bible for all the skills. Because in technical description, the entire detail is spelled out. Then the competition rule, which I stressed, is two very important. One has to write. Then comes the IL, on which, because these are held in fairness, all people work on the same platform. These are sponsored by the sponsors for 21. As of now, we are not certain who's going to be the sponsor for printing as well. Although hope is definitely there, which Samir has brought out. These are the ones they already in pursuing to become the supporters for WorldSkills for 21. Or whichever sponsor comes, he has to show for minimum 2 to 3 competitions. What is given out normally going to be there. But firm, we do come to know that is just about 9 months, 6 months to 9 months before the competition. And other aspect he also touched is health and safety. Is too very necessary. Here we may not be bothered, but over here, over there, in a competition, little fault by somebody and sort of disturb his performance is taken as a very grave offense. Now, coming to technical description, which is in the slide in front of you, this is the one is the Bible. Everyone has to be too thorough about it, because this is the one which gives you mainly the standard specification. There is given out what is expected in that particular skill, what all is required, how the skill is going to progress, what all features should be seen, how the assessment is done, how the marking is going to be there, how the project will be developed. Because not all projects are developed, they're differently frame procedures are there for development to test projects. Some are developed by outside agencies, some are developed by the experts. Now, coming years, largely, I will say 90% will be from outside. And skill management team and communications. Why I'm talking is you will keep hearing skill management team, jury, expert, trainer, skill specific safety requirements. Things like this one has to know. No, modules is already given out. These are the modules, offset printing, digital, additional tasks is already very well spelled out. Standard specifications are given out, and marking scheme, yes, or the jury team assesses the competition work. It is designed to allocate marks for each aspect of own. Next slide, please. Infrastructure also, I think, for each is given out, but generally what is required is simulators, print simulator, Adobe, LMS, laptop, of course, this there, offset, Heidelberg machine, hopefully is there this year again. Digital printing machine, magnet, of course, these are always there. Next, please. Now, the test project is the most vital thing. Well, this is the assessment vehicle. Each skill has a test project for the competition to attempt within the time frame. And it is here where the competitors demonstrate their mastery of skills. Well, again, which I said, technical description is the one which gives out, spells out everything, which specifies the competency, scope of work, what is going to be the format, how that's circulated, who prepares the test project, and anything which is given the test project is already tried out before, is not ad hoc basis, is very well seen that this is workable, and is ensured that whatever test project comes, about 15 to 20% competitors should be able to complete that test project in the stipulated time. Next, please. Now here I'll take a little more time. Now rather, I think Samir has already brought out as I think the was once anyway, I'll talk on this. As he said earlier, we used to call them objective and subjective marking. Now we call it as measurement and judgmental. By measurement, what we mean is which is measurable, used to assess accuracy, precision, and other performance that can be measured on a robust manner. Well, if it's okay, you get a mark. If it's not okay, do not get a mark. It is marked as binary, yes or no. Or some scale has been mentioned there, so accordingly marks are given. Judgmental is already briefed you very well, used to assess the quality of performance. There might be small difference of view when applying external benchmarks. So there are three people marking on each aspect. Each aspect of the skill is marked by the same team. And each team for assessment marking the three for each aspect. People are there. Next slide. This should have gone next. Next, please. Now, before this, now another thing is skill management team. We keep referring about skill management team. What is a skill management team? Is the one who comprises a jury responsible for proper conduct of the competition in compliance with competition rules. Skill management team has a head jury who could be one of the technical delegates. They got juries from the industry, workshop manager, skill manager deputed by, because in the WorldSkills, the terminology what we use for India skills, state skills competition is the same. In the WorldSkills, skill management team means as one is a skill competition manager, then other is a deputy chief expert, third is a expert. So, and the chief expert, skill competition manager, chief expert, deputy chief expert. But I'm relating more to India skills competition. So we have got a whosoever is the head senior most, we make him as a head jury, and selected jury who are nominated by the team, and workshop manager is the one who ensures that the product or the infrastructure required for the completion of the task is positioned. And skill managers are there who could be nominated by NSDC or SSCs and the workshop managers. Skill managers, of course, their duties are they are responsible to ensure timely and updated documentation prior and during the competition. Act as one point contact for the skill. Now, quality assurance is too very important for all competitions. Or jury. What's a jury? Like, I'm sure even the people from the industry would be quite hearing sometime at call of jury, sometime at call of expert. Jury are the one who are responsible for assessing the test project, win that skill competition. In the world skills, normally the experts who go from the country, they form part of the jury. Criteria, of course, what we look for in our level at the India skill is should be recognized qualification, should have had industrial and practical exposure in skill which they attached. More person should be motivated, should be prepared to train people of all states, and one should be able, he should be recommended by the state or by the industry, should have a proven record. And these are the very basics I'm talking. Otherwise, a lot more are there. Because in our country, India skills, once there, we ensure that he sends a basic workshop where we talk of the the marking scheme. Everything is known to him. These, of course, the slide which we showed for the print media is already shown it to you. This all the processes, all the modules are shown here. Next, please. I think we missed out on one slide. Have we missed out on one slide? Just go up. Jury conduct a competition. Yeah, this also we covered. Fine, thank you. Yeah, this is all what is there. Marking, I think what slide is missed out, I think. Just go back. But what I want to say is, possibly slide has, I missed out the slide. Here, what I want to stress is we keep talking of, like in any exam, there's a question paper and there's a sub part of the question paper, question 1, A, B, C. Here we call them as criteria or we call them as modules. And each sub criteria which is there, it is further subdivided into aspects. What is checked in the world skill, what is marked as the world skill are the aspects. And each skill totally will have maximum of 300 aspects to be marked. Could be from 75 minimum to 200 aspects generally are there for all skills. I think the slide missed out from my fault, possibly. So aspects are the one which are marked by the people, which is again taken from the picture from the industry. The requirement of the industry is then seen, and those things are added into the module or the criteria, which are supposed to be checked. I think we can have something more detailed discussion on how the marking is done, and detail we can explain it to you once we keep moving ahead. And with this briefing, you would have just got a basic idea about the world skill, about the print media technology. Thank you. Any questions are there? We are ready to.
Yes, wonderful,
Oh,
wonderful session. I must thank Mr. Prabhune and Mr. Kharbanda for giving us a deep insight in the print media technology and, of course, in the world skills. So I'd like to go ahead with the questions by the audience. So we have Dr. M. Nanda Kumar is asking how printing is going to be in future, 10 years or 20 years, and the scope of the students. And along with this, I have a similar question asking about the career opportunity. So I would really request Mr. Prabhune to, give us more insights on the future of print media technology.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Basically, as I told you in the initial part, that we are now going ahead of commercial printing. When we say commercial printing, it is like brochures and business cards, and like I have several people who are nowadays just asking for an electronic copy of a business card or an electronic copy of a brochure. So those days are gone when you will be asking somebody to give me a hard copy of a brochure. Probably you're all going on tablets for reading books also. But the future definitely for printing is into packaging. So packaging printing is one of the most highest in you can say upcoming industry across the world, and it has huge scope in India. Just to give you a small example of Patanjali, do you know how many products of Patanjali are there? Let us just take that there is a Patanjali, some Ayurvedic liquid is there, or a hair oil of Patanjali. It requires a bottle, it requires a label, it requires an outer carton, and this is for 50 ml bottle, this is for 100 ml bottle, this is for 500 ml bottle. So you can go for n number of products, and there is huge requirement of packaging. You go into the theater, you have popcorns which are in a printed packet, right? You are having that packet as a paper one. You are going to McDonald's, you have a carry case, you have a label in plastic, you have kurkures, you have plastic printing, you have paper printing, you have cloth printing. The technology which today is coming up, it is personalized printing even in textile. So days are gone when you go to the shop and you choose some design and you say, I will make a dress for me. It is the other way around. You may do a drawing, you may choose a design, and you may come to me. You will tell me that this is the cloth which on which I want, and this is my design. I want to make a dress of this. So I can print your own design on your dress and make a personalized dress for you. So there is a huge amount of scope in packaging and personalized printing in the coming years. There is no end to it.
Great. There's no end to printing. And it's like a salt or a water that we consume every day, like we have discussed earlier. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. I'll go ahead with the other question, and that's really interesting. It's an okay. Sri Lakshmi Srinivasan is saying, can we get the color mixing sheet for the reference? Can we get it somewhere on internet?
It's not like a just a reference actually. There is a standard procedure of measuring colors. We have
Okay.
instruments which we use to measure colors, analyze the colors. Like for example, I just take a sample leaf from a tree. I just pick up a leaf and I put the instrument onto the leaf. It will read that green color and tell me three-dimensional coordinates of the green. And if I put the three-dimensional coordinates into my working system, and if I know some basics about color knowledge, color technology, I can exactly produce the same color of that leaf on the print. So there is not just like a sheet over there, but there is an entire procedure. And I think she can search for color management techniques and spectrophotometer applications in print media for color matching.
Okay, great. Vikrant Bhune is asking, sir, will there be India skills first or world skills? I think this question goes to Mr. Kharbanda.
Yeah, definitely. You see, we got a process. We start off with the states. First, the states do their competition. They could have one level, two level. Winners of state competition join the regional competitions. Regional competition where we divide the country into two, three regions. This time maybe two regions. Otherwise, last time we had five regions with us. So with the winners of the regional competition join the India skills. That is called as a India skills or India skills. And India skills, of course, is done. We try to hold it on the world skills guidelines, try to give the best if possible equipment or equipment akin to world skills. The winners of that, the top few are trained. Rigorous training is given, focused, rigorous training on the equipment, on the world skill guidelines by best of industries, best of experts, and the winner of that, of the top three who were there, he represent the world skill India at the international competition. So India skills first, and then comes the world skill is the final ultimate. As the highest world skill competition which is held in the world. Champion of world skill is a authority on the skill in the world, and he is in demand to the highest level. Anybody going to world skill, even the people competing there are people there trying to grab them they itself, offer them jobs.
Great. Without taking much of your time, I know it is stretched. So, without taking much of your time, I'll take tips, a short tip from both of you for students to prepare. Or, in other words, we can say tips for a print media technology aspirants. Just a
You
short
see,
trip.
the basic goals is for all skills, I'll call it. Person who has to have faith in himself, he has to be self-confident, and faith in his definitely the expert. The things are very well spelled out. The only thing one has to understand very well is skill standard skill specification, which is given the technical description. Again, I'm coming back to technical description. If one has understood that, one has gone through that well and prepared himself well, that is what is required for that specific skill. Very specific for the skill in case Samir can bring out what is required for that. I think he spelled out the modules. Everything is there. For every skill, what I gave out about 13 sections which are there, for all skills, technical description is on the same guidelines. So
Right.
world skills standard specification of the skill is the ultimate.
Right. So, Mr. Prabhune, any tips from your side for the aspirants?
Yes. Basically, tips, rather than tips, I would say that if you want to have something as a specialty skill with you, there are, I would say, thousands of mechanical engineers, thousands of electronic engineers, electrical engineers coming out in the world. But if you become a print engineer, if you become a technologist in print, if you become a skilled person in print, you can start your own printing press. As Ravi sir also told, and we had been discussing, even not even 1 lakh, I would say even with 50,000 rupees, which government gives easily as a loan to any person who wants to do a startup, he can start his own full-fledged printing business, and he can within 2 years he can go up to a good turnover of 5 to 10 lakh rupees easily. That's what is Atmanirbhar, I think, making yourself Atmanirbhar. You don't have to depend on any country. Everything is there. You have 130 billion people in India. If you just go on printing soap covers for all those people, everybody is going to bath and everybody is going to use 1 lakh 30 1 crore 30 lakh soap every year, every day. Nothing is there. There is so much of scope for your products and packaging and printing.
Amazing.
Pooja
So
is exciting you to consider this
really
business.
inspiring. Okay, thank you so much for this lovely session, and it was really knowledgeable. And of course, we have all learned a lot about print media technology that even I was not aware of, and I think a lot of our audience were not aware of. I would love to mention about tomorrow's session, as you, Mr. Prabhune, has also mentioned. It's an exclusive session on introduction to simulation models for printing technology by Mr. Turkey Mac. He's
Thierry
a
Mac. His name is Thierry Mac.
Terry Mac. Okay, I'm
Mac.
sorry. Sorry. So it's by Mr. Terry Mac. He's a managing director of Synapse. So tomorrow, 1 o'clock, be ready for this session, and we will be there at sharp 1 with Mr. Mac. Day after tomorrow will be a break for you guys, and we will be back with you on 20th of June for another session. But I would love to tell you about this session again. Mr. Mac will come up with solving problems with simulation models of printing technology on 21st. So you can call it a follow-up model or follow-up session on 21st at 1 p.m. So book your time on tomorrow and 21st of August, 1 p.m. for a session with Mr. Mac. 20th of June, we have concept art by Mr. Moon Arun. He's going to give us more insights on conceptual backgrounds and designing for movie, animation, and games. So you have 3 days booked with us, and 20th of June is at 4 p.m. We'll be bringing many sessions for you as WorldSkills is going on with a fast pace. 2021 is coming up, and I think India Skills is planning very soon. It's going to start very soon. So stay tuned, stay connected, stay working, and yes, stay safe. Take care. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, sir. Thank
We
you.
need to
Goodbye.
thank everybody for caring to listen to us. And yes, it's a very upcoming sector, no doubt about it. But it was very just a generic information you could have got as of now. Get connected with us for any queries which are there. We are always there to clarify.
Absolutely. And there is a feedback link sent in the chat window. You can send in your feedback. It's really important for us, and give your suggestions for the sessions you would like to watch. Okay, so stay connected and stay safe. Take care. Thank you so much. Have a good Sunday evening, and we'll see you back tomorrow, 1 p.m.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.